So in today's lecture, I will be starting with an introduction to the phase 2 software, and simultaneously I will be focusing on how to plot a JRC curve, which is a ground response curve, or we call it a ground reaction curve. So I will start with the phase. So I have phase 2 installed with me. I will quickly open the software. Okay. Okay. So here I have the display window for the phase 2 software. I will start with modeling the things. Simultaneously, I will be going to explain all the tabs which are there. So first of all, I will start with the project settings. So here I will be doing a plane strain analysis. You can also do an axisymmetrical analysis in the phase 2. Okay. The solver type is Gaussian elimination. I will clip it as it is. This is basically what kind of equations are being used to solve the finite element theory. Okay, my unit will be in metric stages. So for now I will just keep the stage 1, which is my in situ stage. Okay, stress analysis I will clip it as it is. Groundwater table I won't take into account for this modeling. Statistics, if you want to have a random variable for your material or your support, uh, sorry, not support, for your fill stress, then you could use this probabilistic. You can check this dialog box, and here you will find tab with where you can uh, input your standard deviations and all the stuff, maximum minimum values. Okay, strand reduction, this is one of the features of phase, in which if you are analyzing some slopes, then you can use this strand reduction theory, and you could get the stability of the slope. Okay, and this is a project summary. Basically you can write all the details, which whatever you want, project title, and this is author, companies, etc, etc. Okay, so I will just click on OK. Now we'll start with modeling a tunnel. So, and I will be using plotting a ground reaction curve. So first of all, so ground reaction curve is the basic of modeling. If starting with any model, or if you are designing a tunnel, then you should know what is ground reaction curve. Okay, then there are curves like LDP, which is a longitudinal displacement profile, and then comes the support reaction curve. So this all curve are merged into one graph, and then you can get how much relaxation you want, and from that relaxation you could design your tunnel. Okay, so this whole theory is basics of CCM approach, which is a convergence confinement method. So yeah, for more information you could always look for the theory and understand that, and from if you probably you will get most of the things from there only. Here I have made one Excel sheet for my ground response curve. So basically this line is my ground response line. On the y-axis I have the support pressure, and on the x-axis I have the total displacements. Okay, now support pressure and the displacement. Support pressure will be always in percentage, and displacement will be always in millimeter. So as you can see that when I have a 100% support pressure, that is in situ condition, I have zero displacements. And as and when my support pressure is getting decreased, my displacement will get increased. Okay, so this whole thing I will model in numerically, and I will know that how much is my displacements. Okay, so for now I have just the support pressure with me. Okay, this support pressure is like 100%, 90%, 80 and 70 and so on. I can also increase this thing if I want a more clear picture. Okay, I can induce a tab, and I can also go for 95% support pressure. Basically, you if you want more refinement, then you can go with that. For now, I will just keep it as it is. Okay, let's go to the model. Okay, so I will first of all start with excavation. So I have a DXF with me. I will quickly add the DXF. Okay, so this is my tunnel shape. Okay, outer boundary of my tunnel. This is an excavation line of my tunnel. Okay, I will just remove this for now. Okay, this the shape is a horseshoe shaped tunnel. Okay, now I will this is the, as you can see that this is in a material layer, so I will quickly convert this thing into excavation layer. So I will just go here and excavation and just click on OK. Okay, so this is my excavation boundary of the tunnel. Now I need to add an external boundary. This will be my second step. Okay, so I will just click on boundary and go on add external. It will be a box type. And now the expansion factor. Generally, in the case of a tunnel, you could take between 3 to 5. Okay, so here I am taking 5. I will just click on OK, and here you have your your whole boundary, your external and your excavation. Okay, now what I need is that I need to add stages right now. Okay, so I will go on analysis and this project settings. I will try to add stages. So this is my in situ stage. I will add after I will add 14 stages. Okay, for now. So I will just click on insert after. Here I have my 14 stages. Okay, I will just click on OK. So here you can find all the stages tab with. Okay, the next thing will be I will go to the second stage. Okay, prior to that I will go in the field stress, in loading condition field stress. Here you can add whatever field stress you want, if you want a gravity or if you want a constant. See, gravity mostly for a shallow tunnels, or for the other things like foundation, slope stability, you will use this gravity field stress option, which is much useful there. But if I am analyzing a deep tunnel, then I will go for a constant field stress option. So my sigma 1, sigma 3 and sigma z will be equals to overburden into my unit weight. So let's suppose my overburden is 27, and my overburden is 500, so it will be 1.35 MPa, my sigma 1. Similarly, sigma 3 will be 1.35 MPa, as I am keeping my K naught as 1 for the present analysis. Uh, if you are having a K naught value which is greater than 1, so you will multiply it by sigma 3, which is this direction, and also on the sigma z, which is out of plane direction. So this and this thing will get changed if your K is other than 1. For finding K, generally you can use a field stress values which you are obtained from the laboratory or field. Or if you don't have the value, you can always use the Shero equation. You will find in any of the publication by Hooks and Brown. Other than that, also you can follow the Hooks table, which you can find in any Hook and Brown engineering books, to find the value of the K. Okay, and this is angle. Not useful here, but if you are analyzing, or if you are want to give some angle to this stress, then you could just write here. Another thing, if you want, if you have several material and if you want to assign a different k naught value, then you can always go to advanced, and you have all this material with you. Just click on apply custom field states and you will get this tabs open, and you can apply whatever values you want. Okay, for now I have just one material, so I will stick myself. Okay, I'll just click on OK. So here I have defined my material, my field state, sorry, my loading condition. Now in the similar tab I have seismic loading, so you could have whatever you are AH and VH, you could just insert here and you can apply at the stage whatever you want. For now I won't be analyzing any seismic case. Load split condition, this is particularly useful if you want, if you enable this condition, then you could split a load, that 70% of the load will be applied in the first stage. If I just input something 1, sorry, if I input 0.7, and the next other load will be applied at this stage. For now I will just click it to 1, just click on OK. Okay, so now my support pressure, so this is my in situ stage. My stage 2 will be where I will excavate the tunnel. So I will just click on excavate from the assign. And other thing that you need to assign the material property. So here I have assigned the material already. Okay, so you can just my initial element loading will be always the fill stage only for now, because I am using only fill stage theory here. Okay, if you are using gravity model, then you need to add body force, and if you are using some of the stress plus gravity, then you can go with field stress and body force. Okay, my elastic properties will be isotropic. My Young's modulus, I will keep it as 2.5, something like that. Position ratio, it's okay. My material property, I will choose a material which is elastic, perfectly plastic. So I will click this material type and choose plastic from there. Intact comma, this intact compressive strand, which is basically a UCS, but the UCS is of intact rock. Okay, this UCS is not of the rock mass, and I will just input here 30. For now I'm just taking a random value, but you need to take care during modeling. Whatever the actual value you should be take, you should take. Dilation parameters. Now this thing is used when you are analyzing a shallow tunnels. Okay, dilation effect won't be much at when you are analyzing a deep tunnel. So for now I will keep it as 0. Just click on OK. Okay, I have defined my material. I have defined my field stress. I have defined uh, my boundary condition. Okay, I've excavated. So now I'm on the second stage. I will also do the mesh setup. So here you can find this mesh. Here are something mesh type, element type, gradation factor. I will keep it as it is for now. Just click on discretize and mesh, and then click on OK. Okay. Now I will be using the field stress theory. Okay. There are many other theories in CCM like deformation, Young's modulus reduction, and uh, basically what I'm using here is an internal pressure reduction theory. So I'll just click here, distributed load. I will go to field stress factor, stage load, and I will click on stage factors. Okay. So for in situ condition, I have no excavation, so I will keep it as 0. Okay. Now the second will be 1. 1 because my support pressure is 100%, so my field stress will be 1. Okay. Now if my support pressure is 90, then what should be my field state? It should be 0 0.9. So I will just add here 0 0.9. Simultaneously I will add other things. Okay, I missed one stage, so I will just go on project setting and add one stage after my 14th stage. Okay, I will just click on here stage load, and in this I will input 0. Okay, so I have with me my field stress, or you can call it a support pressure, which I will be applying on the tunnel boundary. Okay, I just click on OK and OK. I select whole of the tunnel and go with done selection. Okay, so here you can see that I have applied a support pressure of 1, and as you go to the last stage, your support pressure will get on decrease and the last stage will be 0. Okay, so my model is completed for this thing. I will go to compute, and yes, I need to save the thing. Click on save, and I will just run my model. Okay, I will click on interpret. Okay, so you can see your sigma 1 direction, which is 1.35 MPa. Okay, sigma 3 is also 1.35 MPa, and sigma z is also 1.35 MPa, so which seems to be correct. Okay, now in second stage I have applied equal and opposite force, so my sigma 1, my sigma 3, and my sigma z will be this much, 2.30. Wait, I need to correct myself here. Okay, okay, okay. So from this tab you can always see what is your sigma 1, sigma 2, and sigma 3. Okay, something. Okay, sorry, I have selected the load speed condition, so for that reason I was not getting the correct. Let me compute my model once again. Okay, go to interpret, and yes, so you can see that my sigma 1 is 1.35 here, so it should be 1.35. Now I can say that my model is correct. Okay, because in the second stage only it's an in situ condition where I'm applying an equal support pressure, which is 100%. So your sigma 1, sigma 3, and sigma z must be same. Okay, and as you can see, it will go on reducing in the last stage. Okay, now what is GRC? GRC is a plot between support pressure and displacement. So I will go to displacement. So I have here with my horizontal displacement, vertical displacement, but I will select and total displacement. For now I will go to total displacements. Okay, and I will go to the last stage of my model. Okay, so as you can see that my total displacement is 3 mm in my case. Okay, and I can see that my maximum displacement is in invert of my tunnel. Also on the side walls I have some displacements, and on the overt I have not much displacement. So for conditions like this, generally I will choose a maximum displacement. Okay, when we are going with the circular tunnel, we will have the same amount of displacement everywhere, but when we are going for a horseshoe shaped tunnel, your displacement will be little bit different because of the shape. For now I will be practice I always practice to keep the maximum displacements to plot my GRC curve. Okay, So I will go on query, sorry, not on query, I will go on graph. I will go on graph single point versus stage. Okay, I will click a point on an invert and I just click on OK. Okay, so my vertical axis, okay, will be my query data. So query data is my total displacement, and horizontal axis is my stage number. Okay, I will unselect my first in situ condition. Okay, and I will just plot my graph. So this is my JRC curve, but now I don't understand the stage number. I have the stage number linked with my support pressure. So what I will do is just I will plot this graph in Excel, and here I have my graph. Okay, so this is my displacement. My displacement is in meter, so I will just convert my displacement into millimeter. Okay, I will just click copy this displacement or copy, and I will just place on my sheet where I have the total displacement. Okay, so you can see that I have with me my ground reaction curve. So as you can see, at zero support pressure I have the maximum displacement, and at 100% support pressure I have the zero displacement. Okay, so this is how my ground reaction curve will look like. Okay, um, you can increase, you can refine this curve just by adding one or as many as you can, but you need to increase the model, you need to increase the stages, so it will be a cumbersome task. Okay, okay, and that's it for now. I will explain the other thing, how to plot an LDP, how to plot an SRC curve in the later videos, upcoming videos. So thanks for listening. Thank you and have a nice day.